Today we are here to give you a brief initially that of perceived suicide of our fellow colleague and police officer, the late Sergeant Kipyegon Kenei from the Administration Police, who worked in the office of the Deputy President, Unveil House, Annex as a security officer. I'll give a brief fact, and then after I'm through with this brief fact, I have with my colleagues here, I'm flanked by investigators, I'm flanked by forensic experts of different sections, the very experts who, whatever we are going to give you today, they are the people who go and hone this evidence that we are going to tell you that so far give us the direction. Are we investigating suicide or is it murder? So after I'm through, we are going to be taken through part of the audiovisual part of the evidence. And this evidence is actually to show that we have finished the first piece of our investigation, that it was not actually suicide, but it was cold murder, which was well executed, stage managed, but unfortunately, our experts here are smarter than the cold killers. This is a case of murder contrary to Section 203, as stated with Section 204 of the Penal Code, where the victim, our late brother, Sergeant Kipyegon, was found dead from a gunshot wound on the 20th February, the year 2020, at around midday at a servant quarter, house number 8, Twiga Court at Villa Franca Estate in Mara, Daima. Occurrence of event prior to the incident. On the 14th February, the year 2020, DCI officers proceeded to Arambi House Annex, seeking to be provided with the CCTV footage covering the event of the 13th February 2020. The officers were denied access to the server and were only shown 23 minutes of footage which had been taken from various cameras from the monitor, which is connected with the different cameras of the building. They were asked to record whatever from the monitor, to record on their phones or with any other device they had, record, but not being given the extract. The in-charge security refused to grant the officers access and to extract footage from the server, claiming that it was not possible as it would allegedly interfere with the entire setup. Doesn't turn up. The same footage is shown, and you are going to be practically, you are going to see it exactly what we are talking about. The footage only shows the one which we were given for the 23 minutes. It shows our suspect, who already been presented to court with the involvement of international organized crime of fraud. And that is one Rashid Echesa, and the two victims enter Arambi House Annex, and it did not show anywhere the involvement of the deceased, neither the other accused persons, more so the one who was so-called General Juma. They only provided an edited version of events. On 20th February 2020, these officers returned to Arambi House Annex and they insisted on the entire footage and to be extracted from the server by our own experts who are with us here. Despite protest, the same was around and our expert forensically examined the servers and, as opposed to the earliest sentiment, realized it was possible to extract the entire footage. This was done, and the analysis of the same is as follows. This one, I'll note because we have done it in writing, just the way it was extracted. but there's no need for me to go through it because we are going to see it practically. It will be, reviewed for you here. On the 13th February 2020, the cartels of the fraudsters involving the suspect who we took to court and their accomplices, and we are going to see them, were seen entering the deputy president's office through a CCTV footage, and it leaves no doubt of the involvement of the deceased person in the said involvement, for he is seen escorting the alleged general toward the VIP lift, where the general is carrying the envelope and the exhibit, which is the subject of the area matter, and now equally will be drawn to this matter, which now we have seen it to be a matter of interest. That was confiscated by the DCI officers during the arrest. The deceased is seen very well calling someone and handing over the mobile phone. We are going to see that the deceased all through, sorry, I forgot my phone, I could have shown the BCD, he's on call all through and through. And you are going to see it, and the way he's communicating, you can see he's handing over to the so-called general, which means he's getting instructions somewhere. And then after he finishes it, then he as it will be demonstrated at this level of moment, the deceased officer is well, it shows that he was absolutely involved, absolutely in terms of the entry of the victims of the fraud, and particularly now those who are, taking part as the suspect, but not the victim. Contrary to 23 minutes, we have actually, and we are going to see it, from the time this visitor they are entering through the back door, carrying the actual exhibit, which will be manipulated somewhere there, it took 1 hour and 22 minutes and 59 seconds. From 8:50 to 10 hours to 10, okay, we are going to see that. I don't need to show that because we are going to see it practical then. On 18 February 2020, all officers who were on duty at the Deputy President's office on the 13 February 2020 were all summoned to appear to DCI headquarters for interview and statement reckoning on the event described above. They were all assembled, including the deceased, on the same day and informed to appear at the DCI headquarters the following day, which was 19th. On 19th, all the officers, as were told on 18th, assembled at DCI headquarters, except the deceased. And one officer who was said to have been, close to the bereaved, on the same day, the DCI's officers investigating the matter, trying to locate the deceased person in vain. Of course, when we called them on 19th, the forensic expert trying to see why is this officer not, because they were all persons of our interest that particular time. Why is he? And of course, we have our own way of, looking for somebody, even if maybe you have disappeared or you are not answering to a call. We always try to find out where could you be, or rather, what is happening. Since he failed to appear at his place of work on 19th February 2020, as was expected, his superiors did not endeavor to find out where he was, neither did they visit his residence to inquire into his whereabouts. It is worth noting that on 18th February 2020, there was a letter which was written to our Inspector General, and this letter which was written to our Inspector General, it actually was entitled Security Breach in Arambe Annex Building, and I'm going to display it to you here, and we are going to be given a copy of the same.
That's exactly what we want to find out, and that's why homicide has come in to investigate the murder aspect.